right, is just simply that history matters, right? And we can't get around it. As much as this nation tries to get around, to forget, to obscure, to blur, to unlearn the history. History matters. One of the compelling discoveries that Françoise and I made was magical things can happen when you work intentionally to put together an edited volume.
Well, we're both civil rights historians, so we've known each other on the circuit for many years. We've written extensively individually, and we were just having a conversation, I don't know, 2018, 2019, about teaching and some of our frustrations about what we see as an undereducation of our students around US history in general and Black history, and sort of how we are trying to get students to unlearn what they've been taught, to kind of complicate a very simplistic narrative that they are taught. So we really did come to this as a very methodological and intellectual teachable project that we first considered to be like a primer for teachers.
We were constantly thinking about all of the ways that the movement, right, the civil rights movement, the Black freedom struggle of the 50s and 60s was shaping the terrain of the contemporary moment. But there are lots of missed opportunities to talk about the ways in which the civil rights Black power period was shaping, right, activists thinking around Black Lives Matter.
There were groups of folks who we could have these conversations with, work on their essays with, and sort of watch the growth of this thing come together and gel and tighten. I had great joy co-writing with Charles. There's a couple of beginning and end that we kind of anchor the book with our writing together.
One of the things we say in the book, right, is the local is where the global is situated. If you are deeply invested in the fire right now, then check out From Rights to Lives, so you can see how people in previous generations also arrived at that fire, right? And so with any luck, what we've also done, right, is given people the connective tissue, the language with which to think through and think about these other struggles taking place around the world, and think about how those patterns and practices, right, are also being reflected in the United States, also being reflected in the cities implicated in this book, up to and including Memphis.